What's going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this show, we're doing our PGA DFS picks for the 2021 Arnold Palmer Invitational. Craig, before we jump into that, let's take a look back at last week. We had two PGA events. We did shows for both. WGC recap, 6 picks, 4 top 30s. Nothing really to write home about there.
No, that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for wins. We're looking for top 10s. A lot of the guys I had targeted didn't perform. I think Finau was the only decent pick I had as far as WGC picks go. But fortunately, we had some good showdown plays, and Puerto Rico Open was a real winner. So.
Puerto Rico Open was a real winner. Our sleepers did great. Watch our sleepers video to see how they did. But we had 4 picks, 4 made cuts, 2 top 10s, and the winner, Brandon Grace, came with an eagle and birdie to win. Great finish. I know a lot of our listeners had great weeks, 5x, 10x, 20x. Love to see that.
Yeah, I think the one problem was he was like the one pick of ours. I played Pendrith, I played Sa, I played Wu. Yeah. Wu was in the lead most of the tournament, and then Grace ended up. I didn't have him in my lineups. Come on.
Yeah. If you don't follow us already on Twitter, follow us there at Grandstand Golf. We do a pick sheet every Wednesday with our third brother that joins us. So his picks come out there as well. So you can see that on Twitter. And then, of course, any breaking info like the Patrick Cantlay news, we push that out on Twitter right away. So if you don't follow us yet on Twitter, go follow us there at Grandstand Golf.
Yep.
And we have a tournament preview out for the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Usually we do a quick summary here, but this is a new show. We're not doing that anymore. We're going straight into picks.
Yep, you're up. Let's see. Who's your first pick?
Let's do it. I know you're going to get jealous here a little bit, Craig, but I took him away from you. I'm doing Rory McIlroy. I know this is going to be hard to hear. You're going to have to sit back and listen about Rory for a little bit. Your boy. So first in DraftKings, first in FanDuel. He's 11,500 on DraftKings, 12,300 on FanDuel. I just think he kind of stands out as the obvious play, the best player in the field. People say he's not Rory, but even when he's not Rory, his last 6 events, he's got 5 top 16s, 3 top 6s, only 1 missed cut. If this is bad Rory, Rory's still great.
Yeah.
He performs really, he's got a great history here. He's won here. He ranks 2nd in the Arnold Palmer Invitational strokes gained history. You can see that on our website, on our DraftKings model, plus 2.94 strokes gained total. Performs well on the greens here as well. So strokes gained putting in his career, he's just over 0. At Bay Hill in 24 rounds, he's plus 0.62. So something about the greens, clearly it kind of works well for him. He's won here. I think it just seems like the obvious play. He did another thing about his putter. He changed putters last week. So he went away from the mallet back to another putter. His best putting week since the US Open was last week. So I think that's trending up. We might see maybe that kind of kickstarts Rory back to old.
Yeah, I mean, I went at length about Rory basically every time we talk, but if he's he says he's in the process of trying to figure some things out, but I think Rory is one of the few guys, maybe him and DJ are the only people who could legitimately win tournaments while they're trying to figure something out with their game. Yeah. I think this week, we'll get into strategy on Wednesday, I think more.
Sure.
But this week just screams studs. You play the studs. I think there's such an advantage with these guys at the top. So I'll have lots of Rory in my lineups, and I'll also have. Sorry, go ahead.
If you're a new subscriber, we do a live DFS show every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That's what Craig is mentioning. But Craig, who's your first pick?
Yeah, well, and on that show, we go through the strategy and the whole field and sort of how we're approaching the week a little more generally than just the picks. But I am looking at the number 2 guy on DraftKings. Bryson DeChambeau comes in 11,000, second most expensive there. And funnily enough, Hovland nipped him over on FanDuel.
Wow.
And so he's third most expensive there at 11,800. Now, as far as strokes gained stats for 2020, 2021, him and Xander have been in a little battle back and forth at the top for strokes gained total. Bryson grabbed it back from Xander this past week. He's leading. So I kept these numbers with. So these are in the field. The putting numbers are for the entire PGA because I wanted to compare those back through the years. But these strokes gain and tee to green, I believe, are just in this field.
Got it. Okay.
That's wrong. He's number one in the field in tee to green. So he's first in strokes gained total in the entire PGA. He's second in tee to green in the entire PGA. What he is right now is 77th on the year in strokes gained putting. He's gaining about 0.27. And what I just wanted to point out there is that that seems like it's pretty good. And, for a star player, it's not that bad. But if you look at his putting over the last 3 years, he's actually been better than that. So he ranks 77th. 2020, he was great putting last year. He was 10th in the PGA. He gained over a half stroke there. 2019, again, he was about a tenth of a stroke better than he is now, and similar in 2018. So I just think that even though Bryson has been playing well tee to green, I think there is still a little bit of potential for him to push up his strokes gained total. And I think that's the type of thing that one good tournament where he putts well this week and gets a win, that's the type of thing that you're going to see that it would bump his strokes gained putting up to pretty much where we've seen it in past years. So it's one of these ones where there might be a little bit of regression back towards his long-term mean there. As far as Bay Hill, he has great history here. He's averaged over 2 strokes in 2 strokes per round in 4 starts here, and he has 2 top 4 finishes, including a second place. So I think he has a good hand on the course. I think if the wind's right, he's going to drive the green on a par 5, so you might get a nice double eagle chance there.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with the putting thing. So Bryson has always been a great putter, and that kind of gets lost because there's a lot of media around him for a good reason, but the putting statistics have been consistent. And I think you're right. I think those will get better as the year goes along. Another guy with Bryson, I noticed this with the WGC as well. When you give him 4 rounds of DraftKings DFS scoring, he gets a lot of DFS points. So even if he finishes, say, T12, he still might be in the top 5 in scoring.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, he might drive a green on a par 5. He might pick up a double eagle or 2 eagles throughout 4 rounds there. We don't know. It's crazy.
And let's be serious. If Bryson wore that hat all the time, his ownership would probably be much higher because people would be like, why is this guy wearing such a goofy hat? So think about that as a positive. It keeps his ownership a little bit lower, maybe.
There you go. I'm absolutely playing him. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Okay, my second pick here, Paul Casey, 9,100 on DraftKings. He's 11th. On FanDuel, he's 11,000. He's 8th. This was when I was scrolling through the pricing this morning when the DraftKings pricings came out. It just kind of stuck out. I think he might be one of the best informed golfers there are. His finishes to start 2021 from kind of furthest back to most recent are T8 at the Amex, first Omega Dubai Desert Classic, T12 at Saudi, and T5 at AT&T. So he's hopped across the world. He's had great finishes, including a win. I mean, he's just playing really, really good golf right now. And with that, over the past 3 months, he ranks first in the entire field in strokes gained total. That just kind of cements how well he has been playing at plus 2.58. More than Victor, more than Rory, more than Bryson, more than all the 10 guys he's priced below on DraftKings. It just kind of is bizarre to me. He obviously has one in Florida. He has one in March in Florida. I know I'm kind of pushing the dates here a little bit, but he has won in Florida multiple times at the Valspar Championship. I think that just means, the greens, the climate, everything here, that just kind of adds up that he's comfortable here in some capacity. But Bay Hill's kind of interesting because his schedule doesn't always line up, and he hasn't played here since 2017. I mean, Paul Casey is a longtime professional, kind of a classy golfer. But he played here 7 events from 2007 to 2017. We haven't seen him in a while at Bay Hill, but 2 top 15s, kind of mixed bag. 2 missed cuts, 1 withdrawal. It's kind of all over the place, but I think he's absolutely a guy that can go out, and it feels not that stacked, especially compared to last week. I think he can kind of shine above some of these guys.
Yeah, I like everything you're saying there. The one real problem for me when it comes to Casey is that it is going to be a pure strategy one, where I think likely I'm going to have 2 guys up at the very top in most of my lineups. And so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to plug in guys in this range. And that I won't know. If you do want to get into that more, then that's the type of thing we'll talk about on Wednesday. But it's just, that's pure strategy. And it's pure, I think that the top is so heavy that it then becomes like, I just am not going to have the dollars to get a Paul Casey and under the salary cap.
You can look at any narrative you want. We talked about the top five, the recent 5 winners here. They are all internationals. You have Hatton, you have Leishman. Paul Casey, he fits that profile if you want to look at it that way. Just kind of an international playing good golf. I don't know. It seems to make sense to me this week.
You keep your narratives over there. I want to look at numbers. So my next one here, speaking of guys at the top, and I hate to pick so many guys up at the top, but this is going to be my strategy this week. I'm honestly, I'm picking Patrick Reed here. I just as easily could have picked Viktor Hovland because I think he's an absolute stud this week still. I'm going to be playing all 4 of the top 4. I think that is really loaded. Those actually, including Hatton. I think I'm going to be hammering those top 5 guys in and then going way down low to balance my lineups out with them. But Patrick Reed, I think, so with Hovland's form being so good and Tyrrell Hatton having such a good history here, being the winner here last year and another top 5 to maybe a top 4 finish in the past few years, I think Patrick Reed may potentially be, of those guys at the top, maybe the lowest owned. I don't know. It might be I think it's going to be Hatton or Reed. But regardless, he comes in 10,200 on DraftKings. He's 4th there. At 11.6 on FanDuel, he's 4th there. This is now in this field his strokes gained stats for 2020-2021 season. He is 2nd in strokes gained total at 187, and he's 1st in putting at 122. So, I mean, the one thing that's a little bit disconcerting there is a lot of his strokes gained total are coming from his strokes gained putting, but that's just such a crazy number. Like he is on such a heater really when it comes with the putter.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing my own research. I was expecting to see Brendan Todd or I don't know, but Patrick Reed was up there, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he comes in number 1 in our long-term form and fit model for Bay Hill. So that takes in more like 2 full years of strokes gained data from the players. And he's number 1. So, you can make your cases for why Rory or Bryson should be up there. And I'm not saying that, that's a reason to stay away from them. It likes Patrick Reed this week. So in terms of form, he has been, last 8 starts, he's been tied for 21st or better in 7 of his last 8. He did have a missed cut. I want to say maybe it was waste management, somewhere around there, just before I think his Farmers win. But regardless, he's got one bad tournament in his last 8. He's got 4 top 10s, and obviously the win where he ran away from everyone at the Farmers. I think his form is great right now. And then, like I said, he's got a good but not great course history. I think to me, I don't think there's anything with this course that's going to present problems to him. He's a guy from the southeast of the state, so I think he's going to be fine on this type of grass. To me, it's just that may actually keep his ownership a little bit lower, like I was saying.
Sure.
So compared to Tyrrell Hatton, where everyone knows he won this tournament last year, it may keep Reed from being that maybe a little bit less sexy of a pick.
Yeah. No, I completely like Patrick Reed. I was considering him. We were kind of going back and forth. I almost slotted him in as one of my picks. I like everything about him. He's going to be my player pool. I don't know. You're very firm in your kind of strategy this week. I haven't quite hammered mine out, so I don't know how much I'll get to these guys up top. But without a doubt, Patrick Reed will be in my player pool. I just don't know how much.
Yeah. Okay, last one here of our picks. You still got sleepers to come, but what's your last pick?
My last pick, this is an interesting one, Craig. And, I just kind of, the more research I did, I kept warming up to the idea of it. Ricky Fowler, he's my 3rd pick here. We're talking about guys over 7,500 or sleepers that are 7,500 and below. So Ricky comes in 7,800 on DraftKings. He's 26th there. On FanDuel, he's 9,600. He's 24th there. He had kind of a very sneaky top 20 or tied for 20th at Genesis. Is that turning the corner? So I really dove into the stats here. I had a big Ricky morning on Monday morning to see what's going on with Ricky Fowler. So it's the first tournament where he had all 4 rounds positive strokes gained since the 2019 BMW Championship. That's a span of 26 tournaments since he's done that. So that's a very encouraging sign. 4 straight rounds in the same tournament, positive strokes gained. It was his best strokes gained putting performance since his win at 2019 Waste Management Phoenix Open. He did have one where I think he gained close to he gained 1.32 at Genesis. He gained close to that at Shriners, but he didn't make the cut. So I'm kind of disqualifying that. You got to at least make the weekend and get 4 rounds.
Yeah.
But he did pretty well there. He didn't play last week. He's comfortable in Florida and Bay Hill. His strokes gained total at Bay Hill is plus 1.56. He has 4 top 20s, including 3 of his last 4 at T18 last year, one of his best performance in the past year, his second best performance in the last year. He's won at the Honda Classic. He's won at the Players Championship. So Florida is a place that he wins. I just think 26 price, if we're seeing a glimpse of that, Brooks has had his comeback. Jordan Spieth is having his comeback. Maybe it's Ricky's time to have his comeback. I'm going to be on him a little bit early, especially for GPPs as that risk reward. He's 26 price. He could absolutely go out and kind of shock the world, I think, this week.
Yeah, I mean, I also think he's going to be like, hey, Jordan Spieth, what the heck? I thought we were going to, like, not play good golf for a while. Like, okay, we're getting back to playing good golf? Okay, I'm in.
I'm in. Let's do it. Sure. What's Smiley doing? Oh, okay, not Smiley. Sorry.
Yeah, too soon. I think if you want to be early on him, you're going to have to take these type of risks. You know, like, we're too late to be early on Spieth. Spieth's price and ownership is now going to be reflective of he's had three good weeks in a row. So if you do want to take that real reward, GPP reward with Ricky, you're going to have to take shots at weeks like this. So I don't know for sure whether I'll be doing it, but I definitely think that it makes sense if you want that. Like, I just haven't done the risk reward calculation myself, but if you do like the upside, then I think you're going to have to take your chances now. My last one here, I have gone with a fairly safe one that I'll use to plug in my middle salaries between my stars and my studs. I went with Francesco Molinari.
So you're not going stars and scrubs. You're going stars and studs. It is a very bold strategy.
Stars and studs. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Are you allowed to do that? Is that?
I don't know. I like it.
So Francesco, he comes in 15th at 8,700 on DraftKings. He's a little bit more reasonable almost, I feel like, in terms of it's easier to plug him in, I think, over on FanDuel at 10,300. So strokes gained, I think he might still, just because he cold topped one at AT&T Pebble, I think he might be playing better than people think he is.
Sure.
So you look at his 2020, 2021 stats. He's 11th in this field in strokes gained total and 9th in strokes gained tee to green. But one of the things I love to see, he's positive in every strokes gained category. So I always love that when you're not afraid of, I mean, yes, when a guy cold tops it, he could collapse in it anyway, but you're not so afraid of they just like really have to like not blow up with their putter, or they really have to not blow up off the tee or something. When they do have they're strong in every category, it just gives you a level of safety.
And I think now with his return, we have more sample, we have more data now that we can kind of confirm that, right?
Yeah. And so, that kind of gets to his recent form. We didn't see him play a lot in 2020, but we have seen more of him in the last few months. He's got top 10s in 3 of his last 4. He is kind of in, maybe call it a year-long drought, but we didn't see a lot of him. So, however you want to call it, he was in a bit of a slump. And I think with his recent results, we've seen him play through that a bit. But the thing that sort of tips the balance for me, aside from I just think he's decent value, he's got a great course history here. He won this in 2019. He's got 7 starts here, 4 top 10s. And in those 7 starts, he's never finished below 34th. So, obviously, if he comes in at 34th, you're not going to like the value. But to me, that's just like, okay, so that's the worst he's done in 7 starts. It means that he has a decent feel for this course. He's got a decent feel how to get around here.
100%, yeah.
I think that he is probably one of the ones I'll plug in as a safe play when I need someone in that range. Yeah.
No, I like Molinari. I stole your thunder there through his slump, but I kind of agree. Like, we've seen enough of him coming back now that I kind of confirm that it's the golfer that we kind of know of Molinari, the Open champion. It's who we thought he is.
Yeah, he is who we thought he is. We let him off the hook.
Okay, so what do we have upcoming this week, Craig? Our tournament preview, as we mentioned, is already out. Check that out on YouTube. PGA DFS model for both DraftKings and FanDuel is live on our website, grandstandgolf.com. Sleeper Show will be dropping soon. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you know when that comes out. Live show, as Craig teased, Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We go through the entire field with our DFS model, talk about our strategy, talk about our percentage ownership, all those good things. And then, of course, we're going live Thursday, Friday, Saturday night for our showdown picks.
Yeah, and those actually carried me through last week because my tourney long picks were not as good as the showdown picks throughout the week. Yeah, good luck, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that thumbs up.